Hello everyone, I'm Lax Matapali with Candid. Today I'll be presenting a visualized demo of our Oracle EBS 12.2 clone automation tool. As part of this presentation, I will highlight some of the features of this tool and how it benefits, and also we'll go through a live demo of the clone process using this particular tool. Before we do a live demo, let's briefly outline some of the usual pain points during the clones and what are the benefits that comes out of this automated clone and how we can avoid some of the pain points by simplifying or simply automating the task using this clone utility. If you see the usual pain points, just quickly, the typical user complaints, why does it take so long? Why the clone is having issues? It worked fine last time. What was the issue this time? Why there is inconsistencies? And usual EBS clones takes a lot of manual steps and executed in sequence and time consuming. So depending on the complexity of the environment, it might take a day or several days or even a week for a clone. Due to this, the DBA or a handful of DBAs that has to spend um, their time doing this manual cloning process. So what the benefits are? This Ours is a one-click automated tool dashboard. Does the clone automatically, less DBA intervention, provides more consistency in the cloning process, reduce clone times, increased frequency, reduce manual steps and human errors, and of course, labor and cost savings. What are the features that we get out of this clone, right? So it's fully automated. Clone process can be executed through a front-end dashboard UI or from the backend. It can be scheduled to run at a certain time. Uses the rapid clone scripts, which is fully supported. What it handles, depending on client to client. If client has a rack to rack environment, does rack cloning, rack to non-rack cloning, handles ASM, non-ASM storage, clones databases, applications, and support steps. Like I said, it's a one-click, fully automated tool. Handles you can like multiple application servers, load balancing, SSO steps, registration, deregistration, a bunch of post clone steps. It even handles the logical hostname setup. If you have a logical hostname setup, this will automatically detect and handles that process as well. And just want to briefly explain the password, how it's been managed. We don't store any passwords anywhere. We can get the if you have a Oracle Cloud Vault, or if you use AWS or any other web-based password management tools where there's API, we call the API to get the password because some of the scripts like ADCFG clone or any of those rapid clones scripts, autoconfig, they all need the password, and we retrieve password from through an API. And if you have a TDE enabled, yeah, this particular tool handles the valid password as part of the clones automatically. It merges the wallet and it goes through the wallet management, password management, wallet steps, TD wallet steps, everything automatically. It works in OCI, AWS, on-prem, Exadata, XSES, all kinds of platforms. Handles 12C or 19C databases, especially with 19C. For EBS, this will plug and unplug the database through an automated process. This is how the front-end UI looks like. I will go through a live demo. Just I want to quickly go through the process. A typical deployment will be like for a client will request for a clone VM or a separate VM. It's fairly lightweight. A small VM is sufficient enough with, let's say, a config of 10 gig storage and 10 gig memory, two CPU box we'll install our software, clone software in it, and should be NFS mounted to wherever the clone operation is going to be. Let's say if you're cloning a test environment from production, if you have a two-node if it's a rack database, it should be NFS mounted on both nodes, and also for the application nodes as well. And the password, this is what I was referring to, how the passwords are retrieved. It's through the API. It goes and gets passwords from whatever the password vault you're maintaining it. And in this scenario, if you're cloning from a source, in this case, if it is a production, it just through an arm and active duplicate, or if you have a backup somewhere, if you need to restore, we'll restore from the backup. It'll be all handled through the scripts. The same as the application file system layout. I mean, just it'll be through rsync or tar and tar, restore from backup. It'll be done through that. So this is at a high level how the process works. Let's go to the UI. So we can do a live demo. This is how the UI looks. It's based on, it's developed using Fast API, Python shell scripting. So this is the user management. It also has a user management, meaning you need to log in to be able to execute. And typically, only the DB users or DBA users or the whoever is going to execute the clone process, they need to be set up. So let me logging in. Logged in. And on the left side, you can see there's several different options here. You can do a full clone, fast clone. I also have a patching cycle. You can run a patching cycle through this UI. For this demo, we'll just do the normal full clone process. Here you can see all the steps outlined. This is highly customizable depending on the environment. In this case, if the client has two node rack, it's a primary node, secondary node, and if they have two applications tiers, primary applications tier and secondary applications tier, and it could be any number of nodes. Some of the clients have like 4-node rack and 8 application tiers. This particular clone handles. So it's just highly customizable. Add, remove the steps accordingly. And here on the logo, you can, for a branding purpose, we can upload your logo here. So it'll be more specific to your environment. And then this is the list of the drop down of all the environments. If you have a QA, test, stage, dev, you can add those. For a demo purpose, we have a QA and test. And these are let's say if we are cloning, you can also clone multiple environments at the same time. In this case, you can clone QA and test at the same time. And in this case, we are selecting QA and we are assuming cloning from production or from whatever the environment is. So we can choose QA. And then there are two options to execute here. One is if you want to do from the UI step by step, you can pretty much go from this particular step and do a start, and that will execute. Or if you want to make it purely a one click, and if your process is established, and if you want to run it overnight, have the clone complete, you can have an option to just click on resume, and it will start all the process and queues up to run. And this can also be run through the backend and can be scheduled. Let's say if I click on resume, it'll ask for the environment you're cloning. In this case, we are cloning QA, and we are resuming from this step. Your clone is submitted, and you're running. The step is running right now, and all the steps are queued up. As soon as the first step is complete, it's going to go to the next step, next step, next step, and completes the clone. For every process, for each step, whether it's running or failed or completed, you get an email notification. So in this case, you can also watch the logs here. Let's say if you click on the running, clone process is going, you can stream the logs and watch the logs as the progress of the process. So. And do you have a start and end time so you can track the time of it, how much time it took? Since it's currently running, this particular step will take anywhere from in this environment, it's a demo environment, it might take like 30 minutes for the database part to be complete. So I will pause this demo and then I will continue once this step is complete. Welcome back. Just resuming the session again, and as you can see from here, all the steps are completed and it's running primary apps tier. If you can see the database node 1 complete, the secondary node also completed, and auto config completed. There's a bunch of post steps you can have, like various database steps, post steps like database links or any of those steps. It runs here, and that's complete as well. And then it created a file system, and it also started the primary apps tier clone. And if you want to see the log here, let me log in since. Then if you see here, it's currently running the log should show up. Or you can also check here the task status. The apps, primary. And as you can see, it's configuring the run file system and it's running the application tier clone on the first node. And just for, let's see, as you can see the log here for the primary apps, it's all completed. And it also runs the etcc and pretty much everything. Okay. So this will take some time, and I will pause the session and connect back once this is completed. It will take an hour or two to complete the primary apps tier clone. Hello, welcome back. Just let's see where we are at the clone process. Last we know it's running the primary apps tier, and it's moved on to, right now it's cloning the secondary apps tier at the moment. We can check the logs and see what it's doing. Right now it's doing the add node of the patch file system of the second node. Once that's complete, it will move on to the password changes, and then it will run the auto config on the apps tiers, and then all the post clone steps and custom steps, any files that needs to be copied, any of the additional steps that need to run, that'll be all part of the custom post clone steps. So once that is complete, the entire clone process is complete. And as you can see from here, the timings are here, start and end times of it, so you will know overall how long the clone took. And also I want to show you the notification we receive once as part of the clone. Whenever a step is running, you will receive an email notification like this. In this particular step, for example, when it's running the primary apps node, this is the status of running, and the same way anything when it's completed, for example, this is how it's going to show it's completed. And If there is any failure, you will receive the failure status with the error message as well. So this should wrap up the demo. Now we have seen the entire clone process. Uh, in this example, in this demo, you see a two-node rack clone and a two-node application tier with all the post steps, password changes. Um, where I mean, any typical environment, a clone process takes. So um, also, I do want to bring it up. How do we know, where to start if a particular step fails? And how do you know whether the step completed successfully or not? So I mean, based on our testing and several iterations internally, along with several customers' experience, we ran like hundreds and thousands of clones, and we trapped all possible error messages inside our scripts. So, for example, like if arm and duplicate error, if username password error, if the file system is full, if the file already exists in ASM, and if the database is not able to shut down, or if the application clone it's not able to connect to the database, or if the WebLogic filter rule is not there, so it's not able to add the secondary apps nodes. All the messages are trapped, and the script will stop when there is a specific error messages. And if you have any specific, we can add to the scripts based on your specific error messages, what you have encountered in the past, and we can trap the error and we can incorporate in the appropriate step. So again, this wraps up this demo, and thank you for listening in and participating in this demo. For any questions, if you need to schedule a free demo or POC, you can reach out to the emails below. And thank you again.